had some JPL people do a panel there, and somebody asked a question of like, what's like the most accurate Star Trek technobabble? And then they had this story about they were trying to communicate with like a Curiosity rover like right after it landed, and like the signal wasn't working, and so like somebody literally was like, did you try reversing the polarity? And like that fixed it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So every time I think of that story a lot.
Cool. All right, well, it sounds like we're working on Twitch again, kind of. Oh, no, people are saying it's gone again. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on Twitch, guys. Facebook has got us fine, so if you want to go to facebook.com/Star Trek Online Game, you can jump on it and see us maybe a little bit more quickly. But feel free to stay hanging out on Twitch, and we'll answer your chat questions there.
It seems like it's working.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this D Space Nine thing, Thomas. So we've done an interior revamp of D Space Nine. When did we decide we were going to revamp the exterior too?
So this was kind of a harebrained scheme I had. I was up late not last night. One night.
We were up late last night.
I was. So I was up late
Thomas
last night.
is regularly here until like 2 or 3 in the morning. That's because he loves you.
So it was up late one night. I had just gotten home, and I was thinking about like all the cool stuff that the environment team was doing on the inside of DS9, and got super jealous. And I got kind of bummed because I know that we didn't have time on the ship schedule to redo the outside of DS9. And so I started doing some research on the model and how it looked and everything. I was like, oh, maybe I could do this like in my off time because I have so much of that.
Tons.
And I sort of got accepted the reality I wouldn't be able to do it. But I was looking at one of the CG renders that a popular fan artist named Tobias Richter had made of Deep Space Nine. His models, if you haven't seen them, just Google Tobias Richter Star Trek. You'll see a lot of
Enterprise D for the TNG HD update.
Yeah. So when they did TNG Remastered, they tried to use as much real model photography as possible from the original camera work. But when they needed a CG element, they used his Enterprise D. It's that good. And so he's also made DS9. He's made a Runabout, all these other Star Trek ships. So I was looking at a picture of his DS9. I'm like, man, why can't we just use that? And then I was like, oh,
wait.
It was literally like one of those scenes in the movie. It's like, why can't I just use that?
Thomas is lying in bed, just staring at his ceiling, going, I wish we could just wait a minute.
We have the technology. So the next morning I went to talk to a certain executive producer and some other people and pitched the idea. And everybody got on board pretty quickly that like we spent all this time and energy updating the inside. We should, if we can, do the outside as well. So we reached out to Tobias, and he worked with us to get that done. So if there are people watching the stream who are a little familiar with how 3D art works, a lot of games use a technique called a high-low bake, where they make a really complicated high poly model and bake it down into more simple geometry. And that's essentially what we did with this new DS9. Is we took Tobias's original model. When I say we, it was actually Tobias and his team took their original model and then made a lower poly model for us to put in the game, and then baked the textures based on the high poly model, and it turned out fantastic.
It's really, really cool. Eric, we share your hunger for this expansion. Good to see you, buddy. And I was going to say, see if anybody else... nope. Okay, well then let's dive in and look at this model, shall we? So here we are. So Thomas, give us a little bit of an overview. What is different than... I mean, obviously everything.
Everything is different. And so obviously everything right now is a little work in progress. We still got to tweak some of the LODs and things like that on this. If somebody wants
What's
to...
an LOD, by the way? People don't speak.
LODs are level of detail, so that's like when you make a lower triangle model for further into the distance. Mm-hmm. Then as you get closer, you switch to more detailed models. So anyways, so zoom in. So like one of the biggest differences, and down in those like greebly areas, yeah. So on the model that's on holodeck right now, there's just nothing in there, right? So we filled in that detail. If you zoom back out a bit, the docking ports around the docking ring actually have a ton of detail in them now. They look amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And then you've got these cast lights here. that all look great. Zoom out a bit more, and then can you pan to the right? And then, okay, stop.
Stopping.
Yeah, so you see how there are 5 of these little, these are the maneuvering thrusters of the station. So they alternate in batches of 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4. Anyway, on our model, it's like just, they all have 4 all the way around. So like a lot of really show accurate details. Tobias is immaculate when he makes his models, and so that all translated to this new model when he baked it down. And so if you zoom, go over to the habitat ring, and then over here.
Oh, I love the flashy lights.
Yeah, and so we had go view it from the top. And you see the little decals and stuff, and just keep zooming in, keep zooming in, keep zooming in. So even little decals, little stuff like that is all over the all over the place, so many.
That's super cool. Also,
the interior of the rings have windows now.
Oh yeah.
On our current model on holodeck, there actually are no windows for those rings, and a lot of the pylons and stuff don't have windows.
Wormhole's open. Yep, there it is. That's pretty.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. How
there's a little bit better light too. Yeah. So Tobias was saying. Go ahead.
And there's Cisco's office right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Baseball somewhere in there.
Yeah.
This is dumb, and I'm a bad Star Trek fan, but I actually had always thought Ops was in the bottom of the station, not the top.
Nope. No, that's Ops right there.
Yeah.
So if you zoom out a bit, we've got, I don't know, just the whole station looks amazing.
Pax
now.
Veteratica says, "Never mind that noise you just heard. It was only my jaw hitting the floor." River and Faces. I'm pretty sure every demo recorded user ever is drooling at this point. Yeah, when this thing goes live. Which I think it actually is already on Tribble, but when I expect we'll get very many loving slow pans across this station from our demo record friends.
So I have to say, when I got this, when Tobias sent me the final, the finished model, and I opened up the email and I opened it up in 3D Studio Max, I was like, I yelled at Nick, Do Good Taco Fang / Chamber Boy. Like, Nick, come over here. And then when he got over to my desk, I had minimized Max. I opened it up with the model in there. And then I started, aggressively humming the DS9 theme to him.
Yeah, it gets stuck in my head every time I do this.
And that's... I've said that before on streams and on Twitter and stuff, that's how you know a model is good, a ship design is good, is when you look at it and you can hear the theme music, right? And that's totally what Tobias helped us get to with this model. It looks incredible. It really just, it's gonna bring Victory's Life just up that level of quality. I'm super happy.
Sir Boulevard says aggressively DS9. And now I have a mental image of you just staring at Nick, being like do.
That's basically what happened.
That happened to me once. I made a GIF after you'd made the Wrath of Khan accurate Miranda. I made a GIF that was recreating a shot. Oh, hey, the Defiance.
Yeah,
right here.
This is not a lot of people...
yeah. So there's you may notice Ryan just made a check-in on this guy that causes ships to fly into the system and appear. I popped in earlier today, and every ship that was supposed to appear was here all at once. That may still happen while we're on stream. So if you suddenly see 25 ships here, that's not how it's going to look in game. That was just the first step in a process.
Right.
Ragnet says, when will you get a 3D print? Thomas, you already did. It's on its way, right?
Yeah, I ordered it the night that it went live. I didn't have the advantage that Mac, the QA tester on that feature, he
ordered it the moment it went live.
Right, because he was white gloving the shard. So basically, before anybody else could, he's like, I gotta put mine in.
Yeah, so he has his already.
Yeah.
We have an unboxing video.
So you pan all the way down.
Panning all the way down.
And then tilt up. You can see the glow from the red and the reactor core and all that stuff. It's super cool.
That is super cool. Nick says he can confirm you were screaming the DS9 in his face. Did it get scaled down any? No, we've talked about that a little bit before. That's actually something that would be a huge task because we've got a ton of missions that have DS9 on it that we have to change the scale on for all of them. So that's not something that we're going to dive into for Victory's Life, but the team wants to look into it. It's a thing that might happen later on. If you're in Twitch chat, I'm sure Nick will post something more about that.
Yeah, I mean, when you get this close to a release like this, you have to be really careful about the tasks that you take on, and it starts to you're adding risk, right?
Yep.
Everybody hates bugs. Everybody hates missions that are bugged and things like that. So
the more stuff we add closer to June-ish, when Victory is Life comes out, the more likely it is that QA won't have sufficient time to test something. That's how you will land into a lot of real problems.
So that probably doesn't stop us as much as it should, but
No.
but we're we have to be careful. So yeah, so you've got all the detail on the upper pylons, and then look at the top of the pylon.
Looking at the top of the pylon.
Yeah.
Oh
so
shit.
even the little blinky lights and stuff, it's just incredible. All the little red decals there.
Yeah.
It's just it's pretty amazing. I'm so happy that this all worked out.
So when you got this, it was a super high poly model that we had to lower the polygon down to make it something that players could load in our game reliably. What's the process like of doing something like that?
So that was actually what Tobias did for us. Is he already had the high poly model, and then we worked with him and his team we gave him sort of the requirements. Okay, this is kind of the range we're looking for triangle count, and this is how we want the texture set up and all that. So Tobias and his team did all that for us, and then sent it back. And there was some back and forth, to make sure that everything worked and looked good in the engine. And then when we got to a place where we could just do the rest of it ourselves, and we took it from there. But it's sort of basically what you're doing is you have the high detail version, and then you just basically create a new low detail version, and then it's sort of like scraping off or taking a picture of the various parts of the high detail version, and then pasting them on the sections of the low detail version, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that you have, and when you do that with technology like normal maps and specular maps and all that, then you have something that looks super high detail, but really runs in a real-time game environment without too many problems.
Yeah.
So that's most games do. I mean, this is a pretty standard thing to do. We do a lot in our environment art and character art. We do it less with ship arts because of how customization works on ships. But for DS9, since sorry guys, you're never gonna fly a DS9. We don't have to worry about customization.
I could.
yes, we can. Actually, I was testing something with these new DS9 costumes, and I showed Mike a picture of the character select screen with DS9 behind my character when I was logging in, and I asked him if I could tweet it.
I did something like that with very early on in the job. I needed a board cube for screenshots, so I put that as my ship costume, and then I went to the character select screen, and the board cube was the whole character select screen. SFC 100 want to know if the mirror DS9 model got changed. I think,
it did.
Yeah.
The mirror DS9 got changed. The broken, the reason I was here until 2 a.m. last night is I was updating the broken model for Scylla and Charybdis. That's going to be updated. So anytime you see DS9 in space, on a space map, it'll use something derived from this new model. You can actually show them Tarek Noor if you wanted, since it's a costume. You can just costume change into it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we don't want to pop back to my ship yet for reasons.
Oh, okay. Because reasons.
Yeah. Okay, question that I think Nick answered earlier, but Boldly They Rode. Is that going to be this model now as the ground map, or is that something else?
That's I don't want to speak for environment. Probably not. Frankly, though, that's a lot of work, and it can be a lot of work on content depending on how things are placed, and so that's probably going to be a situation kind of like what was the Undine mission with ESD, where it's just you have the old version of ESD in the mission, and then we have the new version of ESD in the social zone.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
That'll be the same for pretty much any of the old 4400 or Kardashian
But if you're me or if you use demo record, you can simulate walking across the station. Look, see? Curling here, curling here, curling here, curling here. Okay. I love how it's been 2 weeks since I cut my hair and people are still popping in the chat going, "Oh my god, you cut your hair!" Where have you guys been? Tune in every week. This is how you miss stuff. So cool. Any other sweet details you want to point out on the Deep Space Nines? I have a feeling the lighting here unfortunately isn't giving us. I think there's details in here that we could see if we were.
Yeah, there's a lot in the textures. I mean, I think at some point it would be cool to show people what Tarek Noor looks like, because it's got slightly different patterns that fit the new model.
Is it set up on any of the maps in here? Can I map move to it?
If you No, probably
Okay.
not. You should
All
probably
right.
change your
Well, maybe
costume.
we can show off the other thing we were going to talk about today,
Okay,
and then
sure.
we can go back to Terek Nor
Yeah.
after that. All right,
Right.
cool. So the other thing that Thomas wanted to show off today. Do you want to set this up at all before I hit F2 and reveal all?
Yeah, sure. Some of you might have seen this on Reddit already. Typically, when we do an expansion themed around a race, and I say typically, we've only really done it twice. When we did the Romulans, we went through and touched up or rebuilt all of the canon Romulan ships because we wanted everything to do with them to feel clean and exciting and match kind of the quality bar where the game was at the time, Legacy Romulus. And so we're doing the same thing for Jem'Hadar. And so officially, we can now say that we've gone back and redone all of the canon Jem'Hadar ships in the game are getting brand new models that will be, like every other remaster, kind of a free update. If you already have a lockbox or Lobby ship, Dominion ship, they'll when you log in for Victory's Life, you'll have the new ship, you'll have a bunch of new materials, so we can talk about that now. But that not only the player ships, but also the critter, the Jem'Hadar
Ships that you might encounter in the environment.
Yeah, the
like
battle
for
cruiser.
example.
Right.
Oh, hello.
Hi. So this is a new.
Oops! Why is it flying? Oh God! What happened?
This is a new
not
Jem'Hadar
now.
battle cruiser. I like this show. I think it's really cool, and it's part of the critter group for the Dominion, which you will be seeing a lot in Victory's Life, obviously. So we wanted to make sure that that it got an update too. So it has a brand new material for it, based on how the model looked in the show, and the new Geo that Mauricio Tajarino, one of the other ship artists, made. And it's really cool. We actually got some good feedback from when this got posted on Reddit about how thin it was, so we went back and beefed that up. So this is a more slightly more accurate, thicker, meatier version.
What, you mean we released something quietly on Tribble and Reddit noticed it instantly? That's never happened before.
Yeah.
So what was different about this from the original? I'm gonna get it a little bit more.
It's sort of like with DS9, right, where it's just the kind of the basic shapes were the same, but it's just missing a lot of detail, a lot of surface detail. The materials were kind of generic and not really designed for the ship to recreate what you saw on the show. So all of these Dominion ships have been rebuilt to really hit the bar for accuracy. Yeah. And so. One of the interesting things about that is, that means Dominion ships actually get a lot of materials because pretty much all of the different Dominion ships had slightly different material work on them. So we've done our best to kind of recreate that for the playable Dominion ships. Yeah,
which is just because I see people jumping in chat saying, "Oh my God, give it to me! Let me see the bridge." Is this playable? This right now is not something we've announced as a playable ship. I'll put it that way. It's just a critter ship. It's just that Thomas did the update because we're updating all the Dominion ships. Well, again, and Thomas is a crazy person.
No, this was Mauricio did this one.
Mauricio did
I actually haven't had too much time to work on ships for Victory's Life. I've only done one ship, and I'm kind of bummed about it. But yeah. So this is the Dominion. Battle cruiser seen in DS9, kind of their ship of the line. You saw this a lot, and this will be replacing the critter version of the ship in the Dominion critter group.
So would you say you will be fighting this a lot in Victory's Life?
You'll be fighting with it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe fighting it. I don't know.
Avenger style team.
But if you play any of the older Dominion episodes in the game, this will show up, and so you'll get to blow up plenty of them that way.
Sir Boulevard corrected me. It's right. It's not that you're crazy. It's that the entire ship team is crazy. Well, did you want to show off some other ships while we're here? In this beautiful light?
So let's go to the. I can tell you what it is, or if you want to look it up, that's fine.
That way we're not saying it on the stream.
Okay,
you want to do that one or that one first?
The bottom one.
Bottom one. Okay. Entertain them while I'm typing, Thomas. Sing the DS9 theme aggressively.
How about those?
All right, we'll look at it.
Okay, great. So this is the one ship I got to make for Victory's Life, and I just finished it. I've been working on it for like 4 weeks off and on while doing a bunch of other stuff. So I'm really happy that we got it done and we got it in. this is, of course, the Dreadnought Carrier for the Jem'Hadar. This is I guess it was a grand prize ship for a Dominion lockbox, but now it's in the Infinity box, the T5 version.
Yeah.
This also will come with the what call it, Founders Pack, or the
the Gamma Vanguard pack.
Gamma Vanguard pack, the T5 version of this ship. So again, it was seen in the show. The model in STO didn't really have a lot of the details that the show model had. So I kind of started with that model in STO, and it ended up being a bigger project than I thought it was going to be, because I just started noticing all these details and things that weren't there, and so just kind of hacked away at it until I got it done. And I also made a new material for it that replicates the look in the show. But of course, if you have the ship, you can use any of your other Jem'Hadar materials on it if you'd like. I did a couple, this one actually I made an extra variant for it because the canon ship looks so different in certain places than the ship that we had. I wanted to make sure that people who liked the way the old ship looked had a upgraded, up-res version of the way that ship looked. So you can go in the Taylor and actually we could do that now if you wanted to show people. Or actually that won't work because this is...
Oh, right.
This is just a changed costume.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. So anyway, so if there are things you liked about the other model that weren't accurate to the canon model, like you'll have an option in the Taylor to swap things out and kind of to your taste.
Yeah. Alex, sorry, no, we haven't made a new model of the entirety of the Bajor ground map for Victory's Life. That's not a thing that's happened. Appreciate that's a request, but actually that map's pretty cool. All right. People are the screenshot community is apparently rubbing their hands with glee. So this is now this is an update to the ship. What do players who own the ship already have to do to get this update to the visual look of their ship?
Log in when Victory's Life goes live and pull their ship out. Now it's going to be using one of the older Jem'Hadar materials, right? And so you probably want to go to the Taylor and select a preset or change the material options to one of the newer materials because of all the color variations on this and some of our other Jem'Hadar ships, the old Jem'Hadar materials probably aren't going to look super great with these new models. I'm going to tweak them to make them look a little better, but you're probably just going to want to, if you have a Jem'Hadar ship already, you're probably going to want to log in with that ship, go to the Taylor, apply the preset to kind of see kind of see it the way it was meant to be seen with the new canon options and canon materials and all that stuff. So there are a lot of cool, if you zoom in, there are lots of fun little details on this guy that were just all on the model. It's from like little solar panels and armor plates and stuff like that.
Vents and things like that.
Yeah, so.
Kit bashing to make a ship for a sci-fi show must be the most fun thing ever.
Yeah, I mean this ship only existed as a CG model.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was made for Valiant, I think, is when it first showed up, and then they used it
all the time. Because they had it.
Yeah, a lot after that. In fact, like the ship in Valiant was so big that the Defiant could fly through that little hole there.
This thing here.
Yeah,
it's shrunk in size since then.
I think this one's a little smaller than that. Yeah. But yeah, so it was fun getting all this together and just kind of adding that extra spice.
Oh, somebody was asking if this is a new. No, I'm actually flying an Andorian ship right now. That I'm just changing costume into this, so that's why you've got the wing torpedo launcher platforms out here. That will not be a feature of the Jem'Hadar ships. All right, so I guess there's another.
Well, hold on. Somebody asked a question. Did we redo the old escort carrier? No, we didn't. You can use this material on that ship, though.
My ship.
Yeah,
my ship they don't redo. Yeah, I see how it is.
But it's it's one of those things where that's not a canon ship, and we only had so much time. So, yeah. But I will be adding this material to all of the Jem'Hadar ships. So if you think that the escort carrier might look better with this material, you could try that on or try one of the other materials, and that'll help clean it up a bit.
Okay. People are saying, I'm so happy I ordered the big Vanguard pack moments ago. You should be. There may even be additional updates to that coming soon. So there's another ship that actually chat has been screaming, asking about for the past 5 minutes. So I guess maybe we can show it off. Maybe, if I can type things in. Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's a small ship. So here we go. So of course, all of the Jem'Hadar canon ships includes the venerable Jem'Hadar bug ship, attack ship. They even call it a fighter at some point, although it's not a fighter for us. It's a frigate. Yeah. So Mauricio Tejerina also made this ship, and he worked with Ian Richards on the material for it. So this was a complete from scratch rebuild, although it wasn't, the disparity wasn't as bad for this as it was for some of the other ships that we worked on, but still there's a lot more detail here, and the material is a lot more faithful to what you saw on the show. We are also adding I'm working on it right now. Well, I'm on a stream right now, but when I go back to my desk, I'm working on another variant of material that makes it look like the CG version of this ship, because this is what the studio model looked like, and I'm sure there are people who are like, what is the red? Like, yeah. But we'll be doing a version, a material that'll go on all the Jem'Hadar ships that will be more kind of grayish purple, and not have the red highlights, so people don't like that. But it's sort of like letting you have that. Do you want it to look like the studio model, the original paint job, or do you want it to look like how it showed up later in the show? And so that's a great thing about STO, is we can customize. We'll let you customize your ships and choose how you want them to look. So we're pretty excited about that and happy with how this guy turned out too.
What's that? It's neat.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the warp core ejector.
Darn it, Thomas! You gotta have snappy canon answers for all these questions.
I just did. It's probably a warp core ejector. That's probably like a EPS radiator assembly. All that stuff. Yeah. Maybe some shield generators. Although these guys really just go down in one hit in the show. They're pretty fragile. Yeah. But you can see at the bottom of the front there, Mo added a lot of cool details and lights and stuff that were on the studio model. So it's been fun looking at these old Jem'Hadar ships and cleaning them up and kind of getting them to match the fidelity of where we're at right now with ships in STO, and I think it all raises the quality bar in Victory's Life considerably to have all of the stuff with the new DS9 and thankfully I redid the Defiant a couple of years ago. I think it was maybe a year and a half ago. I don't remember. So the Defiant was already in a pretty good spot, and then now we've got all these Jem'Hadar ships taken care of. So yeah, Victory's Life is going to be a pretty great expansion for ships. Yeah. Not to mention all the Vanguard ships that we're doing.
Which
totally new
really
designs.
Really cool.
Yeah, they're super cool.
You guys have seen some pictures of them already, but they look amazing. I just wanted to get a shot of the little bug ship next to the Defiant. Look, they're friends now. After all this time. Okay, I am going to now, since we did promise everyone to look at Mirror DS9.
Yeah, gotta get some room.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna spawn DS9 on top of DS9, I don't know what will happen. All right, now you are gonna have to tell me.
Okay. Do you want me to type it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. If that's faster.
Yeah.
All right. Let's whoops.
To fly it around.
So here we are. This is Mirror DS9, which is red and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as I understand it, it's mostly the big red evil decals that make this Mirror DS9.
That's really the only difference.
Yeah,
but it's cool. I mean, it's a cool looking station.
Yeah.
And now you get to see them fight. When you play Counterpoint, you'll get to see them shoot at each other.
Or I'll just, do that now. Whee!
He's in a pilot ship too. Do a barrel roll.
Oh my god.
That's quality
that is
Star
the
Trek
best
content.
thing I've ever. Somebody please.
Quality
please
Star Trek content,
that.
my friends.
Or, clip that. Somewhere in his office, Mirror Curlin is like, "What the crap just happened?" We'll just do it. All right, let it.
Whoa.
Wait, hang on. I have an idea. I still have control technically. Oh no. Yep. And there it goes.
It's like faded away. It's so big.
That's anyway.
So yeah, it was cool. It was cool, like applying the decals to this version of the station and making them feel a bit more like faded and worn, and making sure everything fit in, and you know, just but also kind of keeping the spirit of the original model. So.
Alex Evans asked, is Curlin back, by the way? Curlin never went anywhere, despite the fact that we killed him during Midnight, and we killed him during Scylla and Charybdis, and the entire Klingon section of the player base did a very good job of trying to kill him on April 1st this year. Mm-hmm. Curlin can never die. He is like Polka that way. I wonder if I can give myself the Discovery Spore Drive spin for this one. That's probably taking it too far.
I think that would work. If you gave yourself the Discovery and then
switch the costume.
Switch costume.
It's not a good idea. Joe Bob says Mirror Curlin has a button to make the station do that, and it also disables the inertial dampeners. It just does it when the crew has annoyed him.
So somebody asked about the wormhole. Actually, yes, the wormhole was updated. I don't know if it was redone, but I think they added a lot of the particle effects and added some details to it. So yeah, that was updated too.
Yep. Let's see. Is there a way to get a certain ship requested for the game? Yes, you're doing it right now. You requested on the stream or on Twitter or something like that. We have heard a lot of requests for Warship Voyager over the years. I know that's one that's on the list. The next time we have some free time, which at this point I think is 2025, we might add that to the list. We have plans within plans. I've seen some of the plans. They look amazing. Yes, Curlin is a replicant. Good call, Dave Meigs or something. So the reason that we're now just shooting the crap is this is all Thomas and I were supposed to talk about, and Jeremy was in a 4 to 4:30 meeting before he's supposed to show up here. So he will be here any minute. Is there anything else we can show off with from Victory's Life?
Do you want to show off some of the Vanguard ships?
Yeah, why not? You got the costumes for them?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Let me try to type. Oh God. We've announced all these, yeah. Okay. That would be that'd be a leading question to ask if we hadn't.
Yeah.
I think this is right. Nice.
Yep. There's one of them. Which one is this?
This is the new Dreadnought Cruiser. So the lore behind the Vanguard ships is that they're kind of Odo's special elite fleet of Jem'Hadar and technology that he's kind of been working on to counter the hurt that he kind of was anticipating. So so these are kind of a new, like, 25th century, like, even beyond the T6 Jem'Hadar ships we already have out. These are even more advanced and specialized than those ships. So these were designed by Hector Ortiz, and all the Vanguard ships were modeled by Ian Richards. And they did a really awesome job kind of pushing the Dominion aesthetic into some new territory while still making it feel like Jem'Hadar.
Very Jem'Hadar, yeah. I really like these designs. I love all the little details of the windows. Like, looks like hundreds of windows in there for the ship. It really gets the size across.
Yeah, and there's some cool stuff with the decals and things like that. So I'm really excited about these ships. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to fly, and I think they look great. And I don't know when you're talking about, like, the mechanics and stuff related to them, what their powers will be.
Mechanics of the ships or the Jem'Hadar?
The ships.
Okay, yeah, we haven't done any stats blog yet. I gotta figure out when we're doing that.
That'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
So let's look at the Raider next.
Okay.
Which I think is JE1.
Okay.
Ship gem.
Why is caps lock still on? JE1?
Yeah. E, sorry.
JE1.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that is super cool.
Yeah, so
the little Raiders are always my favorite.
Yeah, so this is the kind of the smallest ship in the Vanguard bundle. It is a Raider. It raids. It goes on raids. But I mean, being a raider means something in our game, right? So I'm pretty sure this is actually a raider. But Jeremy can talk more about the stats when he gets here.
God, Jeremy.
But it's a neat ship. Oh, there he is.
Hey, there he is.
We're just
hear my name.
Bad-mouthed.
Yeah. Well, you weren't putting stuff here. Specifically yourself. You weren't putting yourself here.
I will put myself here.
So actually, I guess I switch out, right?
You can if you want. Whatevs. I mean, you can stay if you want. I have the nameplate for both of you, but technically, you were normally scheduled to be here until now. So if you have work to do, I understand.
Okay. All right. I have work to do.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thomas. It was fun having you.
It was a lot of fun having you guys. Have fun, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy's arm.
This is the first time I've seen Thomas today.
Well, because you're not here at like 2:30.
Yeah, well, life.
Life is a pain in the butt.
Hello, Internet.
Jesse. Oh, here we go. Jeremy correct side.png. Hello, Jeremy.
Hello, Michael.
We're showing off your the Jem'Hadar ships, which actually I realized we probably need to get the stats of those out there, and we haven't talked about that yet. So you
Who needs
talk about
stats?
it later.
They look cool.
They look cool. Fire pack, but also you should know what they do. So for those of you who don't know, this is Jeremy Randall. He is the lead system designer.
And if you
Star
don't
Trek
know,
Online.
where have you been?
Maybe they're new. We're doing a new expansion. Maybe they're new.
Good. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, one and all, to the greatest show on. Never mind.
So Thomas makes the ships pretty. He and his team. And
Yeah.
I make the math that makes them go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got you here to talk about something else. So why don't we start with that?
Okay.
Which I'm going to actually move us back to just peeps.
I just ran up the stairs here because I had another meeting. I just
How was
jumped
it?
out
Was
of.
it good?
I can't tell the people on the internet.
Okay. Well, you can tell them it was good. You can't tell them what it was.
What if it wasn't good?
Well, then maybe you just say it was good anyway, because you understand how PR
It was the
works.
best.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, it was actually pretty exciting. We're working on planning for.
Oh, that
future
was
stuff.
the planning stuff about the things that I was saying I heard about a few minutes ago that are really exciting. Okay, so John Sparks Jr. has a question that we'll get to that in a minute. John Sparks Jr. First, let's talk about so the Jem'Hadar.
Yes.
Those were designed. They actually were designed mostly by Spartan, who unfortunately couldn't make it up to the stream today. Yes. Or is that,
Yes.
Yeah. But so we've got you here to talk about it instead.
Okay.
What's the kind of general design philosophy behind the Jem'Hadar, from a systems perspective?
Well, we leaned heavily on the cannon to start with. We know that they are bred for battle. They are cloned soldiers engineered from birth to be the front line of the Dominion's forces. Pretty much their entire military might. All of their ships, all of their ground troops, and everything are the Jem'Hadar, and they've been engineered from the ground up. So we kind of ran with that. It made perfect sense for us. We wanted to do this new start at high level experience anyway. Kind of an experiment, but it fits so much better when you start thinking about the lore of the Jem'Hadar as well. Yeah, of course, they start at level 60. Why would you engineer a soldier to start at level 1?
Yeah.
So it all just kind of meshed together on that front. Generally speaking, we wanted to make sure that it felt like you were not going to be gimped if you jumped straight into the end game of STO. So we did a lot of, well, not a lot, but some. I would say we did our homework. Let's put it that way. Leveling a bunch of other fresh characters to 60. Get a feel for where a fresh 60 would be at, and then make certain that whatever we were doing to start the Jem'Hadar at that point, they'd actually have a leg up from there. So that even a veteran character jumping straight into a Jem'Hadar will feel like this is maybe this is their new favorite alt, or maybe even becomes their main.
Just to answer the question, 'cause I saw it on Facebook a couple of times. We know about the graphical issue that some people are experiencing in the game. It's getting fixed, not this week, but hopefully soon. There was some stuff that happened, but we know what causes it, and we know how to fix it.
Chipset
Something like that.
arguing with one another.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think that's the crash we fixed today.
Oh,
That
okay.
was people who had dual graphics cards.
Right, that one.
Which the patch notes actually had it spelled as dual graphics cards, like they were fighting each other, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We gave them both swords, told them to fight for the end.
Winner gets to render.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, why don't we take a look at what we were planning on doing today? Hold on, I will actually swap back to with games so you guys can see me do this.
Yeah. So some other things that we knew that we were building on from the ground up with this was we knew that we wanted to build this out as Odo's fleet, specifically as his Jem'Hadar. So that gave us opportunity to build all new ships, and inspired by the story kind of behind this all is that Odo has been trying to instill a greater respect within the Founders, within the Changelings, for their soldiers, treat them less like fodder and more like people.
Yeah.
Just because of his upbringing of, that's how he was raised.
Yeah.
So he's been trying to do that to the Founders. Honestly, hasn't gotten a lot of traction. But now they've given his own fleet, he's been treating them that way and trying to build up the Jem'Hadar as like I said, less of just a throw your soldiers at the enemy until you what was it, Zap Brannigan? Like, we'll throw wave after wave of our own people until they get fatigued and give up or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the old Dominion. So Odo's Jem'Hadar are given extra care, and that's where the Vanguard came from. The premium species is extra engineering to make them even more capable of standing on their own and being a more impressive force.
Yeah. And we saw a little bit of that in the fiction blog we put up earlier this week, where Odo recruited a like-minded founder who was also, after having spent a ton of time with his Jem'Hadar, seeing them as more people and less, you, Jem'Hadar C, die for me!
Right, yeah.
So the effect is slow, but it is happening.
Yeah.
Let's see. Long Range 88. As far as I know, the only ship that console doesn't have at this point is the Archon Intel Assault Cruiser, which I've been chatting with people about because we need to get that to you guys because it's the only one you don't have. But if there's more, let me know.
Or we can just delete it from PC, so then we have parity.
Then it's parity. Yeah, that's good.
So
that's
either way, right?
That's an idea that won't piss anyone off. I've been flying this ship for 6 years. Too bad it's gone now.
And then you're just...
Die for me, boys. All right. Well, should we look at creating a Jem'Hadar?
Yeah, sure.
People seem very excited about it.
And one thing that I don't know if the warning will show up here.
It will.
We do understand that we're not tutorializing this at all. Now part of that is...
Ta-da!
We understand how complicated STO is.
Yeah.
So this is kind of our attempt to make sure that other people have an idea of what they're getting themselves into. We know that jumping straight into level 60, fresh out of the gate, might not give you the best experience. I bet it'll be fun, but probably confusing as heck.
Yeah, for sure.
So
here you go. You will see this if you try to create a Jem'Hadar, if anyone tries to create a Jem'Hadar, right?
Even I believe later on we might change this so that it only pops up if you don't already have a 60 on your account.
Yeah.
We're looking at some of those behind-the-scenes tweets at this point.
Someone was asking if the Federation, Romulan, and Klingons will be able to use the new ships. The way it's currently set up, as we explained in the Vanguard pack, is you can get the ship for your the ships for your Jem'Hadar, the Vanguard ships, and then when you get them to level 6 mastery, the ships will then be available as an account unlock for everyone.
Right.
So
since they're purchased through the C-Store, that just means you can reclaim them on your other characters.
So Jem'Hadar ships will have the normal 5 levels of mastery and then a 6th one that is the account unlock for the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
After the Starship trait.
Right, exactly. Cool. All right, so we don't technically have Vanguard Jem'Hadar unlocked yet, but there they are. You can see them with this one's fabulous haircut.
That's one of the new hairstyles.
Let's create a normal Jem'Hadar. Only male options because there are only male Jem'Hadar. There really aren't, as I've said before on the stream, any gender of Jem'Hadar because they're grown in a vat.
Right. If you want to roleplay as a female Jem'Hadar, go for it.
Yeah. You can do it.
They are genderless.
Yeah. And this is an interesting thing in the background. Maybe we'll talk more about that later. All right, folks in the stream. Engineering, science, or tactical? What am I making? Someone shout out. The first one I see is what I'm going to make.
You should make science.
Well, now that's out of the picture because Jeremy suggested it. Oh, science was the first one to come up. All right.
But then there's 12 tacticals.
That's fine. I said I was going to see the first one. Science Jem'Hadar it is. He studies the mysteries of the cosmos for the Founders. All right.
Somebody's got to operate that deflector dish, right?
Yeah. So, not a ton of starting uniforms for the Jem'Hadar. They do have a lot more as they get along and as they choose a faction, they get more customization options. But to start out, you'll only have this one, this uniform, or if you've bought the Vanguard pack, I believe you also get the Vanguard uniforms as well.
Yes, they have an additional. I think we call it the tactical outfit or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you just hit randomized on the heads a little bit, we did add additional. No, that's the reset.
Oh.
The die. We did add additional textures and scales and different bone head plates and chin spikes and all sorts of other options. The Ketracel tube, I think, is also optional. I think.
Where is it?
Might not be for Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, I don't think it is, at least.
But the same outfit other species can purchase or can obtain elsewhere in the game. I think is a mission reward or something like that, and they can wear the tube if they want.
Yeah. So you can play your human who's addicted to Catch Yourself White if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
Ruin Faye wants to know if we're about to have a ham sandwich Jem'Hadar edition. I don't think I'm actually going to do that today. I think when Victory's Life launches, we will then go together and create James T. Hadar, also known as Jem'Hadar, because I love that name so
James
much.
Tiberius Hadar.
Jim Hader. But you can see there's a lot of options for different types of spikes. Ooh, that
And
one's cool.
Vanguard get additional options in addition to all of these. So you can, if you're using the premium species, make yourself look a little more premium as well.
Yep. There's some. I'll flip this around so you can see the hair that you're actually got coming out the back here, because there are hairstyles, mostly ponytails to start with, but the Vanguard had
Well,
that nice long hair.
if you're running off into combat, you generally want to keep yourself
put your hair up and square up, right?
Yeah.
And we'll look at some of the mouth spike options here too.
Also, when you get to the uniform, like this is the only uniform you have option in terms of textures and everything, but there's a lot of color variants.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to make him a very different looking Jem'Hadar.
I think that's our full uniform palette.
There we go. Getting very leisure shoot Jem'Hadar now.
Your science officer, good choice of colors.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also, bare hands in addition to gloves, which is nice, so you don't get stuck with those.
And you won't be able to see it in creation here, but we did give them full chest and everything, so when you get to Risa with your Jem'Hadar, you can wear swim trunks.
Yep. And the other things that you've purchased, like account unlocks like Intel outfits and things like that, will those be wearable by them?
Some of them. I don't know about the Intel outfit specifically, but pretty much anything that's already neutral, available without restriction across factions, will also be usable by Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
You may not have access to it within the initial Tailor at creation, but you can use it later on.
Long Range 88 says, will there be something like a Vanguard pack for console? There will in fact be just the Vanguard pack for console. It won't be something like you'll be able to use it.
A lot like it.
Yeah.
A lot identical to.
Yeah. We actually have some other options for pants. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, so they do have access to all the civilian outfits too.
They do, yes.
So if you want to jump on that, you totally can.
Those crazy sweaters.
Yep, so many sweaters. Oh, and it looks like the neck tube is
okay.
optional.
It's part of the uniform.
Yeah, you can have double neck tube.
Give me twice as much.
I love Catch Yourself White, man. I love it. All right. Yeah, we'll go back to. And you can also have the option of a slightly buffer outfit.
Well, it's the extra shoulder pad.
Shoulder pad and a little bit extra down here at the bottom too. Washington wasn't paying attention 10 minutes ago and says, can we make a female Jem'Hadar? You cannot make a Jem'Hadar of any gender. Although apparently this option exists up here. Am I going to break the game?
Yeah, I was really afraid that was going to crash because we just talked about removing that.
There is not a gender for Jem'Hadar. In fact, to the point where I wonder if we should just remove the buttons entirely rather than saying male.
We talked about it. It actually causes a bunch of other things to break.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right.
We would love to.
Can we make them invisible? Anyway, that's a discussion for not on the stream. Will the Jem'Hadar have access to holographic buffs so that you can make Jem'Hadar in the holograms? Of course they will, and of course you can. And I cannot wait till I encounter that in game. Please make that immediately.
Yes.
Let's see. Somebody says
need female Nausicaans. I agree.
Yeah. Oh,
although that's a very inventive spelling of Nausicaan. I got to hand it to you.
Hey now. Star Trek aliens are hard to spell.
It's not easy to spell.
People were writing Jem'Hadar content in our game, and we're spelling Jem'Hadar wrong, and Jem'Hadar is relatively easy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Jem'Hodor is probably the one that I'm going to roll up and just always say nothing but Hodor.
Give me some leather padded boots. Give him some nice colors there. Yeah, this Jem'Hadar is going to end up looking like a Power Ranger by the time I'm done. Worth it!
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Given that it's you.
Yeah. And of course, you also have all the normal options you have. So if you wish to make yourself, for example, a super buff or super fat Jem'Hadar. Yep, there we go.
All right.
There we go. That's something you can do. The founders didn't put him on the exercise yard. After they grew him.
No, they engineered him to be that way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
He's for winning the Dominion hot dog eating contest.
That's right.
Yeah,
Pie-eating champion of the Dominion.
DRG111 wants to do a Barbie pink outfit for their Jem'Hadar. We can do that for you right now.
We can at least show you some of it, I think.
Actually, I don't think
no
pink is here. No pink.
Boo. I'm going to have words.
Yeah, go talk to Ian about that. Why can't I make my Jem'Hadar super pink? with the dad bod, they said, "Is that Jem Kurlandar?"
Yeah. It's really hard to give him receding
see-
hairline though when it's only back there.
Did you see you got a love thread on Reddit about they either need to give Jeremy more Kurland lines in the game or they need to finally kill Kurland once and for all.
And I agree with the latter.
Yeah, you want him gone? You want him just dead?
I would not be upset with it.
Really?
But I would also not be upset by being hired to do more voices.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, get yourself a SAG card, kid.
I know.
It only costs way more money than you can afford.
Worth it if I did other voice acting.
Right.
But in all my free time, when I'm
Yeah.
not making... What did I make? 7
I
new
keep-
ships for this expansion?
I keep saying I'm going to start a voice acting career, and then I keep going, oh, that's right, I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
I never thought the community manager gig would be staying late to make sure an expansion gets out on time, but I've been doing a bit of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to actually make note of the...
All right, so people,
stat logs you mentioned.
when people want, okay, now question for you.
Sure.
I want to look at what this guy will start with, in terms of skills, rep, things like that.
You don't want to spoil
Is
the
that
mission.
something that we can do without spoiling episode 1 or episode 0 or the opening tutorial? I probably can skip the cutscene, right? Will it let me do that?
Yes, it will let you... we can turn off the game and
Oh,
just go to
yeah.
our faces
Yeah,
and see
why
what
don't we do that?
happens.
Because we've already got the sound off. So, okay, we're going to go back to just people for a second. So look at Jeremy's beautiful face, guys, while I hit next. And give him a name. Jem'Hadar. James
You're going to do all this right now.
Tiberius. Hadar, it's very important. With the DV...
Yeah, this might be the first
the
time...
Hatter
people-
Prize.
This might be the first time people would have seen, if we were still on camera, that the Jem'Hadar have their own prefix finally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, no,
we can show
before
that.
you hit... Yeah, go back to this, because I love this. Hit the random name a few times on the ship name.
Okay.
Because we did a new...
Oh, that's cool.
Just keep hitting it. Because if you notice in the show, the ships don't have names.
Yeah.
So we started thinking, well, they probably have something more along the lines of serial codes or something like that. Batch 131Z Golf.
That's
I love
awesome.
this stuff.
That's very Jem'Hadar.
Yeah. So,
Patrol TX-48.
Yeah, it just feels so Dominion-y.
But we're still going to call our ship the Hatter Prize.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very important. Let me take off the game here real quick so that I'm not spoiling. So one of the things, just in case people are wondering, one of the things that we are going to be releasing the first 4 episodes of Victory's Life, actually the first 5, onto Tribble. I won't be playing them on the stream at all. We're not going to dive into them because I want you guys to experience that when you play the game. I don't want somebody to accidentally stumble on a Twitch or Facebook stream, especially on Facebook because that's really easy to do, and just get a huge plot point spoiled for them or something like that. So
Maybe
they
never
will be
have
on Tribble.
played
If you want to
STO.
play them early on Tribble, you can do that. But I won't be showing them off on the stream.
Side note, we'd also ask that you try not to spoil it for others as well. If they're trying to keep on the DL and not
Please
spoil themselves
don't.
the story,
The
be
founders
nice.
demand your silence.
And obedience is victory.
Yeah.
Golf is, they're wondering why it said golf.
Oh.
It's the phonetic, I think it's called phonetic.
Yeah, it's
No, like Alpha,
Alpha,
Sierra,
Beta,
Golf,
Sierra, all
Whiskey
that stuff.
Tango, Foxtrot.
Oh, Kurland demands your silence is even better. Is LeVar Burton coming back? We hope so one day. I think we've used all the LeVar Burton dialogue we've recorded at this point. I think we've
I
done
don't
it
know.
all
We
now.
always store a little bit
Yeah,
for a rainy
so
day.
we might. That's true. I remember when we were recording J.G. Hertzler, they had him record something that I was like, "What was that for?" And Paul was like, "Huh?
Just
Sounds
in case.
cool, right? We could use it for something."
Yeah, a lot of the ones that we know are going to stick around, like we're not killing off their characters or anything. We try to have them do a lot of generic barks, like they'll go through sometimes. Like I think with Hertzler, we went through like basically every enemy group in the game and said like, and just had him call out like the Borg are attacking,
Yeah.
the Tholians are attacking, just in case. So we try to do that with some of our celebrities. I don't know if we did that with LeVar Burton.
DGR 111. I know we're planning on unlocking Tribble to everybody soon because those subscription changes we made. I don't think that's happened yet, and I will check on that when we get off the stream.
I want to say I heard it was either next week or the week after.
Yeah. Will our Cardassian race have access to Cardassian military uniforms? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do
That's
know
something
that
to ask
the,
Ian, but
the last time I had this conversation, it was, we would really like to do that. But to be frank, our old Cardassian uniform assets weren't very high quality. So we had to find the time to, and I don't know if we found this time, to make them up to our standards and then make them player usable.
Okay, I have dropped my Jem'Hadar into DS9.
Great.
No one is attacking me, which is lovely.
Just people walking on furniture.
Oh my god, I'm working on this video. I think you know about it, but there's an entire section that I had to just cover up because there was where I had my character standing on DS9, there was an NPC who was jumping up and down in a chair, then stopping and waving at someone who wasn't there, and then jumping up and down in the chair again.
Patrols are work in progress.
Yeah. And Mugam 1980. If you think we don't want Patrick Stewart in this game as badly as you want Patrick Stewart in this game, you are sorely mistaken. We want Patrick Stewart in this game hella bad. It might happen. All right. Someday. Just who knows when. All right, so let's dive in. What do you guys want to look at? This is what the starting kit modules
I know
are.
there's been a lot of requests about like what sort of buff qualities they start with, what equipment they start with. This is coming to Tribble like this week if all goes
so
to
you'll
plans,
be able to
right?
see,
Right?
yeah, it should be coming out.
So we can
tomorrow.
spoil all of this stuff,
Yep,
right?
we're gonna go into it. So this is your starting kits for science. So I've picked a science character. So this is what your science starting kits will be.
That's also worth saying is like which skills you have, which traits you have, and which reputations are complete, and which specializations are pre-completed for you changes depending on science, engineering, and tactical.
Is Ragnat's Ryan?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't
he
think
just
so.
posted he's crying and he's trying to fix the NPCs on DS9. So that sounds like Ryan.
Or Scott. That also
Yeah.
sounds like him.
It could be Scott. I don't think Scott's Ragnat, so I think that's right.
But anyway, so what you are outfitted as starting as Jem'Hadar will be different depending on science, engineering, and tactical. And part of the goal there is that we wanted to make builds for you. And I know we've gotten guff about making really crappy builds. I could go into that on a different subject,
But these are Spartan builds.
well, not only that, but like we're not going to give you that ultra meta edge case. You have to know how to fly this and what order to use your power rotation sort of uber builds right out of the gate.
Yeah.
The goal here is to give you something that is a lot of a generalist, can be good at pretty much anything that you want to do right out of the gate. Your bridge officers are all fully trained. I think they all have the first 4 you start with. I think have all specializations already unlocked and
It's
a good.
temporal operative. We've got an intelligence specialist.
Those are just their starting specs right now. But if you go to their skills tab, I believe you can choose any of their. Yeah, they're already active.
Yeah.
So you could choose whatever you wanted. We wanted to give you enough Jem'Hadar right out of the gate that if you bought the Vanguard, or if you don't, but if you do buy the Vanguard ships, that you can outfit them with a full complement of all the bridge officers with whatever powers you like using.
Yeah.
Not all of the powers are already learned, of course, but there's a very good selection.
You can jump into, yeah. So, okay, what do you guys want to see? I'll show you. People ask about reputations. I can show you that. So it looks like we're starting with Tier 5 in Iconian Resistance and Nukara Strike Force.
So that's for the science officers, because we felt that there was some a few good synergies in there, particularly from Nukara. The auxiliary power traits are really nice for science officers.
And
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe that, if I remember correctly, the I think Tactical has the Task Force Omega.
Task Force Omega makes sense.
Yeah, but it changes depending on your profession.
Yep. We can look
So
at our
your skill loadouts
here, which
So-
you I think
Most of them are very similar, to be
Yeah.
honest, but there's just a little more focus on your profession, depending on
Yeah.
which one you choose. Also, all Jem'Hadar do start with a respec token. So if you don't like this loadout, you can change it for free.
someone asked how much dill you start with. It looks like 0.
And that's one thing that I would actually ask if people are interested in trying this out on Tribble. One of the biggest things that I personally am looking for player feedback on and extra sets of eyes is to make sure that the economic impact of being able to jump straight to 60 and jump right into the game, that we've covered every loophole, filled in every potential exploit, anything that could erupt, destroy the economy overnight. If you could, for example, take all the gear off of yourself and all your bridge officers and sell it for energy credits and then delete the character and make a new one.
Yeah.
You can't do that. None of this stuff has any energy credit value, but those are the kind of things that we need to make sure that we've filled in all of those gaps.
So here's some of the traits that you start with access to. I'm
Mhm.
going to show you what we've got here on ground.
This is a pretty standard
Pretty
selection
standard stuff,
of
yeah.
stuff. We didn't add in any pre-unlocked fleet traits or lockbox traits or anything like that. But you do also start with, as you can probably see right here, Particle Manipulator, if I remember correctly, is from crafting.
Yeah.
You also start with some pre-completed crafting.
Oh, let's take a look at that. So it looks like you got science at level 15, shields at level 15, and projectiles at level 15.
Yeah.
Again, this is for science officers, so you get a general idea.
And again, just to reinforce the fact that we did a lot of looking at what a level 60 should have getting into the end game, and what we want players to be able to experience and not feel like a burden or feel like they've got now this high-level character that has to
Just
start over from
yeah.
scratch.
And having done a level character that has nothing,
Yeah.
because I've had characters that, QA has leveled me up so I can test something, and then I've tried playing with them, and it's just a
It's
mess.
not a
I
good
really
experience.
appreciate you guys doing this and doing this way.
I don't think we did anything for Admiralty or Duty
Okay.
Officers, though.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
All right, let's take another look. I know people were interested in. He says tactical captains. Did they get? Do we know what they get reputation-wise? Someone suggested Terran, Temporal, and Borg.
You'll only get 2
Yep.
as a base Jem'Hadar. Vanguards get a 3rd, and I don't remember the exact list, but all that information I'm sure will hit the internet as soon as this stuff lands on
Yeah.
Triple.
Yeah, it'll. All
It's
be-
not secret, and most of it is pretty much set in extremely thick mud, if
Yeah.
not stone. So you shouldn't need to worry about this stuff changing on the fly or
Yeah.
anything like that.
So for people asking quality of buffs, looks like you start with a purple,
Two
two
purples.
purple, 2 blue,
And 3 green.
and 3 green.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the 2 purples are kind of like, well, I don't want to spoil anything. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll be a part of the story. Okay.
Briefly.
Makes sense. People are asking what the starting ship is.
Yeah.
It's a Jem'Hadar Escort, a T5U bug ship, and we can.
It's more or less a bug ship. Like the actual one that you can get from the promos is still a T6 and is still a slight step up from this. For example, this doesn't have any universal seating, and it's only a T5U instead of a T6. But T5U ships are totally usable at the end game, and this will get you hitting the ground running. Shouldn't be a problem for anybody.
Do Vanguards and regular Jem'Hadar have the same costume options? When you purchase Vanguard, you get an extra Vanguard uniform that I believe regular Jem'Hadar can wear as well.
And additional like head
And additional head
customization stuff.
customization options. So
Mainly, like,
no,
some really cool-
but also yes.
Vanguard have like one head crest that's like almost like a Triceratops.
Oh,
if I
that's
remember
friggin'
correctly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Boff traits, please. Sure, I can dive into that.
They're
let's
going to
see a
have the
little bit.
engineered soldier and
Yep.
shroud.
And superior peak help and superior stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
or stubborn if
Mhm.
they're if they're a blue.
And I want to say that the Vanguard pack also comes with some Vanguard buffs you get in addition to these that have the superior engineered soldier that includes some space bonuses as well.
As lifetime subscribers, will you get your normal retrain tokens on your Jem'Hadar? I believe all your normal rewards will apply to all your account the way they normally would. So yeah.
You probably, again, because you're starting at 60 and we had to cover some potential for exploits and things like that, you don't get all of that right away.
Yeah.
You have to play the character for a while. I'm not sure exactly where those cutoffs are before you can go claim all of your veteran rewards. And
So that
things
it's
like
not
that.
just log into the character, claim everything, put
Yeah,
it in your account bag,
right.
log out.
And also, for the sake of just kind of easing the starting a new character thing out, we noticed that even internally when you start a level 60 using the Jem'Hadar process, there's just, before we turned it off, it was just this never-ending scroll wheel of you got all this stuff completed. Here, do all these tutorials all at once. And,
Oh God!
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those before. And for your shuttle, you start with a
this is a brand new
a
ship.
brand new ship. Oh, it's a Jem'Hadar fighter,
Mhm.
which they've not seen before.
Unique to the Jem'Hadar, the Dominion.
Yeah.
This has never been released before.
Yeah, it's super.
It is
pretty
using
too.
the same art as the old fighter pets that you used to get with some of the Jem'Hadar
Yep, I've
lockbox
got
ships, the Dominion lockbox ships. But I believe, I'm not sure if he has already, but Thomas was going to high-res that, make it into a modern ship.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. There's so much more I could be talking about.
I know.
that,
But it's just hard to know where the line is,
Yeah.
right? This is what I've been struggling
is
with.
anyone watching the stream, you might have noticed that all the gear starts at Mark 12 purple, which is pretty standard for level 60. We're
Yep.
not going to throw you Mark 10 whites and make
Oh
you
my
just
God.
kind of tough through it or anything like
Yeah.
that. We give you a bit of a leg up there. But again, they're all no energy credit value.
Yeah.
So the very first episode that you play has you doing quite a bit of combat, obviously. It's
Yeah.
a combat-focused game for the most
Yeah.
part. And we didn't want you struggling to try and kill, shuttles or whatever at level 60. So yeah, you're pretty well equipped.
Somebody asked if you don't start with it looks like you do not start with the duty officer complement at all, huh?
Not until you have completed your faction.
Oh, okay. When you choose faction, you get a bunch.
Some of the under the hood duty officer stuff is very dependent on a primary allegiance.
Yeah.
We had to jump through a lot of hoops to make that work differently for Romulans, and it was work we didn't want to do again.
Well, there'll be a level 60 boost token for the other factions. That's something we've talked about.
Yeah.
The ability to sort of purchase a pre-built level 60 character in other factions as well. It's not something we're doing right now, or possibly anytime in the near future. But it has something I've even been to meetings about. More than just a whiteboard discussion. But I don't know if it's coming anytime soon.
This whole idea of starting at 60 kind of started from that discussion. Like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
That's where we realized that it was something that we could do. But yeah, we talked about it. Just to clarify, though, it's not that you're being built at level 0 and then pushed to level 60. You're being built at level 60 using a new form of tech that Star Trek hasn't used prior to this point, called pre-built entities, where you are able to customize certain aspects of a level 60 existing character container, and then that just gets copied off and saved as your version of that level 60. That's why we're able to do so many autocomplete things like reputations and skills and specs and all that kind of stuff.
Somebody said, Ryan is saying, "Stop looking at the table. You're making me cry." What table, bro?
I think people keep standing on that table.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just
go somewhere else.
We'll just go into this airlock. It's fine.
I must admit, I have not toured the new DS9 yet.
What?
I've walked the promenade, but not all the little like nooks and crannies.
I'll show you the video later. 5 Flounder 04 says, assuming these are Jem'Hadar that no longer require white. That is inaccurate.
He's got the tube.
Yep, there's going to be a white mechanic. We've talked a little bit about it on the blog announcing this. Spartan mentioned that they would get a bonus from doing Ketracel white. We haven't talked about any additional mechanics that may or may not come from the Ketracel white.
Well, these will be released tomorrow, so I can cover that. The only detriment from not having enough white in your system is that you won't be able to use your Shroud trait.
Yeah.
Early on in the process, we actually made it have a few other effects. We were worried about it being too detrimental of an experience overall.
Yeah.
So
that was a fight that I kicked.
But we also couldn't push against the cannon too hard. Like we know that if they don't use the Ketracel white, they can't shroud.
Yeah.
So we don't allow them to shroud.
Graves von Karma, do Vortas give you the Ketracel white, or can you get it other ways?
You can get it other ways.
You can get it other ways. You can get it from. I don't know if you
also,
can get it from replicated
character, like everybody, all Jem'Hadar start with 20, which in your devices there.
Oh yeah, right there.
So that'll give you. That's a good supply. 20. They last an hour each, and that's in-game time. So you will play for 20 hours before you run out of the stuff you start with.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy to have.
Yeah.
How often will Jem'Hadar be able to physically get Ketracel white? They'll, I think later on in the game you'll be able to get it from Replicator like other people, but early on it's the starting complement, or you can get it from this gentleman.
Actually,
DS9
we may have made it. We talked about doing this. If you can open the Replicator, Jem'Hadar may be able to replicate it right out of the gate, because presumably you've got a Vorta on board to help you out with this sort of thing.
Yeah. There it is. Yep, so you can replicate it right out of the bait for free.
Yeah.
So you never have to worry about running out of Ketracel.
Now there's also, oh man, I hope we got this in. We really wanted to get an actual Ketracel ceremony that you could, if you like role playing and you wanted to go like talk to a Vorta, there's one somewhere on DS9 that I think will allow you to.
I can take you to him.
Who I think will allow you to do the ceremony of like, we accept this gift from the founders and pledge our loyalty. That whole shindig.
I don't know if this cutscene is hooked up yet. It's something we've talked about, but we haven't necessarily know whether we found the time to do it or not. But I can take you to where that. I know. It looks amazing. I could take you to where.
And they're fretting over tables. Who gives a crap about tables? Look at this place.
Oh, I haven't progressed enough in the story, so this is just boxes right now. When you progress through Victory's life, this turns into a Jem'Hadar station on Deep Space Nine, where you can hang out with the Vorta. And there definitely isn't a door back here that takes you into space. Oh, there isn't anymore. They fixed it. Good. Yay. I ran out that door and ran around the bottom of Deep Space Nine on stream last week, and then Nick was like, maybe don't show bugs on stream. And I was like, you're right. I'm sorry.
Work in progress. It'll be done.
Vestas74 wants to know when this is going to come out. It's going to come out in June on PC and later this summer on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and all that jazz.
I didn't realize we were actually even saying June yet.
Yeah, June has been said.
I can tell people June now.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm assuming Ragnat is Ryan. He hasn't confirmed it yet, but he says you have to complete the tutorial. Oh, and he's saying you can get white from a particular Vorta.
Not
too,
a tutorial, Ragnats. It's just episode
zero. Yes.
The Jem'Hadar only. Because we don't teach you how to play the game.
Yeah.
We just throw you in the deep end and say sink or swim.
So people are saying when in June. Obviously, guys, if I'm saying June, we haven't announced the exact date in June yet. Maybe
Otherwise,
wait.
we'd be saying June date.
Yeah, maybe wait till we've announced that. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten. We're not deliberately giving you non-answers.
I
know they're all like, "Why won't you give me everything I want? Because I can't. It would get me in a lot of trouble." Marhawkman, playable Vorta are not a thing in Victoria's Life. I'm just gonna put that out there because I've seen a lot of.
And
those
again,
requests.
we don't want to spoil the story, but the story that we've crafted is very Jem'Hadar centric.
So there's nothing saying that we might not make. That sentence was terrible. I'm gonna start over. There's always a chance we'll make playable Vorta later on. We've seen specifically how much you guys want it. I need to do some more chatting with you guys and find out how many people actually want to play a Vorta and how many people want to play a Vorta because it's a Dominion race and we're adding a Dominion faction and they just want to add all the Dominion races. And so we've talked about that a bit.
But I mean,
because it's
again, without spoiling anything, trying to play a Vorta through the episode 0
would be bad.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But that has allowed us to do some very, very deep storytelling about the situation of being an engineered soldier, being a member of the Dominion, and what it means to have the Catcher Cell White dependency and all that kind of stuff. And none of those story beats would work for a Vorta or a Changeling or a Karemin or a Dosi or anything like that. It only works for Jem'Hadar.
Yeah. People on Facebook are asking about Cardassians. If you missed that announcement, playable Cardassians will be a thing in Victorious Life. They're going to be a Fed and KDF unlock, and they're currently we've only announced that they'll be available in the Game of Vanguard pack. There will be other ways to obtain them. We just haven't talked about it yet.
Right. Also, somebody asked earlier.
Salaknar 1990. Thank you for bringing that up. I do want to do it at some point. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I want to do have a bunch of our better screenshot and demo record artists on a stream at some point. Showing off their art, talking about how they do it. Yeah. I think that'd be super cool.
Sure.
The problem with that is as we lead up to Victory's Life, there's all this stuff that I have to announce that you guys want to see. I don't have like one of those quiet streams I used to have where I can like bring Maria in to do funny voices or something like that. We just got this. So.
But after the expansion actually launches, that's probably a good time for it.
Huariant, I actually don't know the answer to this question, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say yet. I do know, so the question is, Jem'Hadar will be able to go back and play previous missions in the game. How will that make sense with the story? I know that that's been talked about. I know that there is a definitive answer, but I don't know what that answer is. I would have to go and rattle Content's cage a little bit and find out, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet either. But I will say it will make sense. Yeah.
Or it's a video game. Like, we're going to do our best to make it make sense, but a lot of this, it gets rubbed with a layer of hand-wavy.
It will make perfect sense. These are Star Trek fans,
where we can
Jeremy.
Make it make sense.
It has to make perfect sense, Jeremy. Someone asked where I got my shirt, because my shirt is amazing, and that is true. I got it from T-Fury. They're one of those websites that does a new T-shirt a day. But I imagine if you Google Megatrek T-shirt, some of the artists probably put it on Redbubble or something like that. Mm-hmm. Can the Jem'Hadar tunes craft Dominion Polaron? I don't see why not, right? That's this thing people can craft.
No.
Oh, it's not a thing people can craft?
No, it's a mission reward.
Oh, so then no, probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I think we're hand-waving that as saying the Dominion Polaron is Dominion War era tech. Different stuff now.
Ryan, sure, come on up. Let's see.
Are you guys going to play the Swarm?
We're going to go dive into the Swarm. Since it just
in the escort?
Well, no, because I'm going to go to Tribble because it's fixed on Tribble, and then I can play with players if they want to.
Sure, yeah.
As opposed to just soloing it myself.
That's a good point.
Yeah. People are saying time travel in the wormhole. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the answer. I'm pretty sure it's something closer to holodeck simulations. But again, I literally do not know. This is not me guessing. This is me guessing.
As am I, honestly. Yeah. I'm not on the content team either. I just have I have a strong feeling that nobody went through and added new intro and outro cuts for every single mission in the game.
Cthulhu says I'm killing him, but he won't tell me how.
Not answering a question.
Maybe I'm not answering a question. I don't know what the question
I'm trying
is.
to watch chat too, and I'm not catching anything.
Somebody said, can I give them a ballpark of when in June this will release? My ballpark is sometime between the 1st of June and the last of June.
You heard it here first.
Sometime in June. Is it possible for a second featured episode rerun this year? Definitely it's possible. That is a process of me walking to Jared's desk and saying, hey, we haven't done one of these in a while, which is how the last one happened. So if we decide it's something we want to do, we can do that. Is it the T5U bug ship from the Phoenix pack? No. Does it unlock bug ships for carriers?
No.
Okay. Are the Jem'Hadar Lobby costume and Lobby weapons still Lobby unlocks? Yes. Are there any new lifetime and veteran benefits? No. We were thinking about new veteran benefits and lifetime benefits, but they haven't. I don't think.
Man, that conversation's gone all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I think the end conversation was there isn't time right now. We want to do it later.
Yeah. But astute watchers of Tribble updates may have noticed. Oh, somebody's asking about it now. The vet destroyers. Jem'Hadar will be able to fly all of the ships from their allegiance factions,
just like we announced for the Romulans recently.
Right. Except for vet destroyers, and the reason for that is that we're trying to squeeze in time to make them their own vet ship.
Yeah.
No promises.
We'll see.
That time might not happen, but that's why they can't fly those right now.
Yeah.
That is hard to define the time from. It's a ship that animates. You know.
Yeah.
Super cool.
5Flounder04. I don't think we have a licensing agreement with Mega Bloks. We'd have to talk to CBS about getting them to make STO specific stuff. That'd be cool, but I don't know if that's something that Perfect World's going to jump on right this minute.
To be honest, we haven't had a lot of luck with merchandise ever. Except maybe 3D printed ships. Those have been, I guess those are technically cool. Merchandise.
Let's see. Hello, Ryan.
Oh my God, it's so far away.
I know.
They literally moved me to the other side of the building from my desk.
This room is as far away from our desks as you can get in the building.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me squeeze in a bit.
All right. I don't think I have a Jeremy and Ryan nameplate, so Ryan, you're going to be nameless for a while.
I'm Star Trek Online.
Yes, you are Star Trek. Are you Ragnats, by the way? You never answered my question. Okay, you are Ragnats.
Why were you so...
Lunic Man says in all caps...
You're pointing out bugs!
Lunic Man says in all caps, why won't the starter bug ship unlock the carrier pets? I assume with an added on the end. Because. Not a real design decision beyond that, just decided...
No, I mean, it's because the other ones are premium items from
there you go.
Promotions and events, and we still need them to be able to be something that people want to seek out.
Yeah.
Maybe you like showing bug ships, but I don't like showing bug tables.
It's a theme.
All right. Someone said liberated Borg Jem'Hadar. That's an idea we should think about.
We had one in an old mission.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is like this big brute Jem'Hadar that had been not liberated. He'd been Borgified.
I was saying, you really don't want to be fighting Borg Jem'Hadar.
No.
M. Desdemonia, I think you missed the previous conversation. The answer to no Jem'Hadar veteran ship is maybe. We're really trying to get one for Victory's Life. If it's not for Victory's Life, hopefully we'll get one for a little bit later.
It's almost guaranteed it won't be here for launch. But we're still trying to squeeze it in as soon as we can.
Yeah.
As well as there's still some other veteran conversations going on. I'd love to try and promise, but I just can't.
Matthias Hansen says, you three have everything in the game, don't you? No, I do not. I do not have even close to everything in the game.
No.
I don't have the magic to make that happen, and even if I did, that's a lot of things to give myself. I don't have the inventory space, man.
I don't even have the time.
Yeah. Will there be Jem'Hadar frigate pets for the carrier? I don't know if that's something we've talked about yet or not.
How about we say we're going to put together some stat blogs?
Yeah, we should do that.
And then whether or not that's a fact, you guys can find out in the
on the stats blogs.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm just imagining the liberated.
All right, we are breaking down into random questions.
Nanites.
David Meeks had a great idea though. The new Jem'Hadar bug ships, because they come with Victory Life, will now be called June bugs.
Okay. I mean, you guys have seen the Vanguard ships. The Raider, the heavy Raider that's included in that is kind of the new bug ship.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love the way that thing looks and flies.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a little biased.
J Huddle 1, if you're talking about the graphic bug, I think you are. We know what causes it, and it's soon. We haven't done fan art yet today. We had some really good fan art. Sorry, I should dive into that.
That's why I'm
here. What?
Did they draw bugs?
No one.
We like showing bugs.
Apparently.
We got a fan art from Resdane and Sir Boulevard this week, and it's all actually really freaking good this week. So let's take a look.
So Auntie's asking when the stat blogs will come out.
We don't know. Not next week. because they would have to be done tonight if I was going to do them next week, and that's not going to happen.
Translations.
Yeah,
They'll
all that.
they'll come out soon.
They'll come out before Victory is Live.
Hopefully.
Way before.
Okay, so this is from the Klingon. A couple of shots that Resin sent us from the Klingon tutorial because this week is Klingon Week in our Faction Allegiance campaign, which if you haven't done yet,
Declare your allegiance
to our Twitter and Facebook, and you can find the links to the and I think also on Facebook and Reddit the Declare Your Allegiance pages for Romulans, where the contest is done, but you can still get your social media icons, and Klingons, where you can enter into a contest to win some in-game uniforms and a WizKids prize pack, and also you can get social media icons and stuff declaring your allegiance to the Klingon Empire, as you should, because they're the best faction.
Who was in the video for thanking?
There was two people. We had Robert O'Reilly and we had Mary Chiefo from Discovery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
she applauded and loved and everything.
Cool.
If you haven't seen that, it's pretty freaking cool, guys. RTK142 says he can't change his Facebook picture for reasons and stuff. But this is a Facebook frame, so you can actually put it over your Facebook picture. Your Facebook picture will not change. It'll just have a nice big Klingon logo on it.
Yeah.
Which
Somebody asked, who was that? Hariant, I think? Do the Jem'Hadar ships have full interiors or just bridges? They're more than just bridges.
cool.
But I don't know exactly what you would constitute as full.
Full. Yeah. All right.
There's
Next picture.
right?
There is
Still from Resident
yeah,
Evil.
and you know they have the different NPCs.
Yeah.
A very nice picture of the best ship in Star Trek.
What
Absolutely.
is that? The Vokuv?
No, that is a bird of prey. It's
Is
the
that-
best.
is that
I
a
said,
de-
I said the best ship.
Is that a Daedalus?
It's the best ship. It's the bird of prey. It's the best. The best.
Is that the T-size
It's the best ship.
T6 Vorta that everyone is asking me for?
Is
Why
that
haven't you made it yet, Jeremy? Why haven't you made it yet?
Is that
They've
the-
been asking me that for a year and a half. Just make a T6 border, Jeremy.
is that the T6 Constitution?
It is, in fact, a bird of prey.
Oh,
If you'll remember,
Oh, wait.
a few minutes ago, I said the best ship.
That's the
in Star
HMS
Trek.
Bounty.
I think yes, it is actually. As a matter of fact, still the best ship. All right,
the HMS Pinafore.
and here's another picture of the best ship. And finally, some really sweet Mirandas.
Booyah.
Shooting some stuff at some Klingons.
Sweet,
They're gonna get
sweet
themselves blown up.
Miranda.
And another Miranda with an asteroid, because it's all from the Klingon tutorial, and it's pretty.
Oh, those are the bad guys in the Klingon
Yeah,
tutorial.
they are.
Yeah.
And then
Don't they
Sir
look like
Boulevard
bad
sent
guys?
they do. They look so bad. Sir Boulevard sent us some awesome DS9 pics. This is Kai Kira addressing her people,
Mm-hmm.
which I love all of that. It looks super cool.
This is a Frankie.
Yep. That's Kurlan meeting Martok, probably about to get stabbed.
Let me tell you about this one time I was here.
And they never let it go.
And finally, this caption was entitled, "Kurlan, you know that's a parking violation, right?" Which I
Tiny
just
little
love.
runabout.
Yeah.
Did they all see
Phenomenal cosmic
the...
power, tiny kid.
If you guys haven't already seen the Tier 5 rep clicky, when we talked about the Reputation, we did that, right? We released that?
Which one?
The Reputation?
Yeah, we talked
template?
about Reputation.
Okay. The Tier 5 rep clicky is one little ship.
Yeah, and
And
it's
so
it's super
so
cool.
much
And
fun.
we've added now an actual social zone pet, which is how this exists.
Yeah.
So you can have it as a weapon to fight your enemies, or you can just have it follow you around in social
Tiny
zones.
little runabout.
So great.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think I'm going to
yeah. Going back to work. I'm gonna
And let
switch
Ryan
your name to
squeeze in.
Ryan's name if I have Ryan's name.
I don't know. Every time
Bye,
you
guys.
come, you tell me that you don't. Later, Jeremy.
I don't have your name. I have your name, but I don't have it
By myself.
by the correct side. Yeah, I have you with a bunch of other people. Okay. Well, we'll just put up the.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Randall.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna make promises that I can't keep.
Let's do this. Let's do that.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Fatum.
Yes, you are. As far as we're concerned. All right. Tell some jokes while I'm loading up Tribble so we can play this. And if you guys want to join us on Tribble and play some of the Swarm, you very much can. You are welcome.
A Nausicaan walks into a space bar
Okay.
and kills all the ships.
It's good. It's good. It's not bad. Okay. I mean, it could use some workshopping. Maybe take it around the circuit a few times. You know,
Yeah.
make it full like 15 minutes. See how it comes out.
Yeah. I like going to my favorite restaurant at ESD, the Tempura Front.
Again, a little workshopping. A little workshopping. Ryan, can you rename the Klingon aligned Jem'Hadar to Jem Kapla, please? I don't think Ryan has the power to do that, so you should promise that you're doing that.
Yeah, I will rename all of the Klingon Jem'Hadar that I have control over to the Jem Kapla.
Everybody on Facebook is yelling for Gorn jokes, Ryan.
Oh, man. Now you Gorn done it.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Someone's asking if you can make my hair in the game. You can get close. You can make the shaved and curly, it's called, but it's a lot longer than my
Oh my
hair.
god, did you cut your hair? I may have been watching the stream when you were talking about that.
Alright, let's get in the game here. I actually, this week, set up my bridge officers correctly.
Ooh.
I know.
Of course you don't... Well, I guess you still do need some bridge officers for that.
Yeah.
Though next week I'm going to have to come in and be like, oh my god, have you grown out your hair for 3 weeks?
Yes, I have. Swarm. Alright, get on Tribble and queue up with me, folks, so we can play this queue correctly this time.
I really hope that it's fixed.
Oh my god, if it isn't,
I'll
I'm
be
gonna
so
take your
sad.
glasses. I will
If
take
it's
them.
not, it's definitely not my fault this time.
It's totally your fault. It's
No,
always
because I
your fault.
fixed it. I fixed it.
Always your
I totally fixed it.
Always 100% Ryan's fault. Duncan Idaho says the Donnie cut is in the game, and when I first got this haircut, Donnie said I'd stolen his haircut, so I guess that makes sense. I'm just gonna close this. Let's see. Someone sent us an image on Facebook. Is it porn? Oh no. Okay,
It's Gorn.
Their Gorn character.
It's
Very
like
nice,
Gorn,
though.
but it's Gorn. Actually, so speaking of Gorn, I'm sure most of you have seen...
Galen Dugal, sorry, I gotta say this real quick. Galen Dugal, you missed Jeremy talking about that earlier. We've put things in place so that you can't just start your character, sell all your stuff, claim all your benefits, and delete it immediately on a Jem'Hadar. That's not a thing that's going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you have seen on the Twitters that Mike posted that awesome picture that Thomas made about Ketra Loops.
Yeah, that was great.
Victory, part of a complete breakfast.
Yep.
So here's my question to the fans. Would you rather eat Ketra Loops or Gorn Flakes?
That's a good question. Well, I've accepted this queue twice.
Did you?
Yeah?
Well, I mean, maybe people are dropping out. That would be
Maybe.
terrible.
Maybe.
Stop dropping out.
Stop, drop, and roll. A lot of people are saying Ketra Loops. That's the answer. Dave Meek says if he wasn't writing right now, he would totally queue up with me. Stop writing and queue up with me, Dave. Do the things that are bad for you. Law Street says, can I tell them about the drawing I have for not talking about new content? I have drawings about not talking about new content. I'm not sure what else you wanted to know.
That's going to pop up. That's
Yeah, sometimes. Do Ketra Loops give you a shroud? They do, and the shroud actually, whenever you activate it, says they're magically delicious. Different thing, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, Odo.
Hey, this looks promising.
Okay, we've got a briefing, so that's good. It's a good
Yep.
start.
And we have a timer, so
That's even better.
that's yeah.
Why are my ships not on here, Ryan?
I don't know. Why are your ships not on there?
Because when I moved this character to Tribble, everything got removed.
Well,
That's a
stop.
bad experience.
Stop breaking your stuff.
Launch. Stalic Narcissus 90 says he'd rather have bran flakes, but those haven't existed in about 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo Serra says that Eric Gorn is the king of Gondor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. Not bad. All right, here we go. This looks more promising. All right, so tell us about this queue.
All right, so this queue was originally made by Tiff, who was here last week and was unable to make it today, and I just helped with some polishy stuff towards the end. So the idea is the Herc are attacking various planets in the Gamma Quadrant, and Odo is asking you to assist in just helping protect the people of the planet as they try to evacuate. A bunch of Jem'Hadar were sent in advance. The Herc have beaten them up. So kind of our first phase is to help power up the disabled Jem'Hadar ships and get them activated again because they will help you then for the rest of this
Q.
queue. Yeah. Then once we get through this part, the next part, there's also these defense satellites that you'll be able to activate. It's just that the Jem'Hadar are a bit of a bigger priority first, because if their ships blow up, then people are dying and satellites are unmanned. So I guess Odo has reasons for his priorities. And then finally, during the third phase, the actual refugees are trying to escape, and you have to defend them.
Okay. And so do I have to activate the Jem'Hadar ships by running over to them and repairing them?
Yeah, you fly over to them, and then they'll be a little clicky to send power.
The group of faster player ships are on their way. And I'll help this one out.
Also, the stronger, like the bigger the Jem'Hadar ship, the longer it takes to restore its power.
Okay, and I'm restoring a bug ship, so this should take about 5 whole seconds.
Yep. And of course, if you get attacked while you're trying to repair a ship, then
It'll counter it.
it'll stop it. Yeah.
So you gotta clear out the enemies before you can do that.
Or just work as a team. Well done.
I don't think that's Odo's voice.
Stay a while and change.
They added him to Here's the Storm, but of course they did. They kept
Odo?
the same.
Kane.
Yeah, but of course they kept the same voice actor, so it's weird.
So he's like, I'm here to be a badass, but I also sound like a.
I'm here to kick butt and chew bubblegum.
And I've run out of bubblegum. So these satellites, they enable you to deploy tractor mines when you are near them.
Oh, cool. Let's do that.
And they're kind of like the Romulan tractor mines, and they.
Right, the Romulan minefield queue.
Yeah. Because and we were trying to figure out like what we wanted the satellites to do, and we brought up how still in Charybdis there's a Daenerys that every once in a while throws tractor mines, and it's just something very satisfying about seeing the swarmers getting tractor mined. So we're like, you know what? Let's add it to this. It is a good tactic to use against the Hurk.
Oh, good. We've got the defense satellites up and operational. Good job, team. I don't have any of my ships anymore. There we go. Okay, we've got to get our optional objective done. We've got to destroy the last of the Hurk. That is a lot of tractor beam mines we've spawned.
Yeah, you can. I think each satellite can spawn up to 50. And they have a cooldown. Oh, looks like Sir Boulevard's playing.
Yeah.
Either that or someone's copying his name.
Either are possible.
How are we doing?
I like the that whole like you get check-ins on how you're doing during the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just deploying more.
But yeah, this was Tiff's first queue, and she did a really good job with it.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. This is fun. Alright, so we're waiting for refugee ships. There they are. Okay.
Yep, so Odo will tell you what lanes need help, and yeah, your job's just to make sure that as many of them can escape as possible.
Oh, geez, they teleported way over here. Okay. I really, really love the Discovery phaser effects that are on my little ships. Just looks super cool.
Actually, now while watching you play, I think I see another polish task that I want to do.
Oh yeah.
Just cleaning up the tracker a bit, because you don't need to see all this stuff from the beginning.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
So we're seeing the Hurk deploy one of their super shields over here. You'll see that every now and then. Just when they take a certain amount of damage, they pop a shield that makes them pretty immune.
Yeah, no, the Hurk battleships are pretty scary.
They're pretty tough, yeah. It's like we got. So how we doing? Okay, 0 refugee ships have escaped. That's not good.
Well, I mean, they have to make it all the way across first, so I think we're about to start seeing them escape.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see they still made them in our lane. Good job. Well done, everybody.
Yep, 2 have escaped. And then I'm sure 2 more are about to escape.
What are we doing over here? Oh, there they are. They're
Yep.
moving
So it
slow.
starts off where there's not too many spawning at the same time, and then it's going to get more and more hectic as time goes on.
Oh my god, you have no idea how good it feels to be playing on a ship that has the powers that I like to use. After my last few triple plays where I was like, oh, he's still got mines.
Yeah.
That's good. I like how Star Trek Online expects you to know Greek letters.
I mean,
Alpha and Beta are pretty straightforward, so
yeah.
Gamma's not hard to figure out by context.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we do have, as far as MMOs go, the most educated player base.
Really sucking up there, huh?
Well, I mean, based on forum conversations alone and Reddit conversations alone.
Oh, thank you. Whoever said launch more fighters in chat, you are correct.
You must launch additional fighters.
Yeah. Horion says this is the Borg Snowman event, but in space. That's pretty accurate. But it's fun. I'm enjoying myself.
What's someone saying?
This is the Borg Snowman event, or the Borg Snowman event from the winter event, but in space. That's pretty true, but that doesn't make it. That means I really enjoy the Borg Snowman event, so I'm really enjoying this. Five Flounder 04 says that because our player base is so smart, it keeps the toxic players away. I think that's probably pretty true.
For the most part, yeah.
We do have some toxicity every now and then. I liked watching all those tractor mines just swing into place.
Yeah, no, the tractor mines are very satisfying.
Yeah. It's got to be interesting because a lot of these actors, don't really play video games and stuff. I know, God, what's his name?
Don't shoot the energy nullifiers.
Yeah, I figured that out.
They're there to nullify your energy.
I know, God, why can't I remember either his character name or his real name? That's terrible. Dr. Julian Bashir.
Oh.
Alexander Siddig is a really big gamer. Like, I'm sure
I know
Renee Auberjonois was like, why am I saying, like, Beta is under attack? What does that even mean?
Yeah. Like, Aaron, you can tell is definitely a gamer.
Yeah.
Max, probably not so much.
Yeah. They've all been so awesome to meet and talk to, though.
Yeah. And they've been doing a great job with their voice work.
Yeah.
I enjoyed working on Agency yesterday, but I'm really excited about this one. This may be our best expansion to date.
Five Flounder 04 says, if I was a Star Trek actor, I'd make a character around myself and play it all the time, then your name would be Aaron Eisenberg. Because he wants all of us to play Ferengi. He literally, at Germany, was like, at the beginning, was like, who all here plays a Ferengi? And like 3 people raised his hand, and he threatened to walk off stage. It was hilarious.
I play Ferengi.
I could create a Ferengi.
I play a Ferengi mother.
Oh, that's right. You've got weird characters
Mm-hmm.
with weird names.
Have you called your Ferengi mother lately?
No, I haven't. I've called my actual mother.
That's good. I mean, it was Mother's Day recently.
Yeah, I actually saw her on Mother's Day. So
We should have totally done like a Happy Moogie's Day.
I know. That was
Man,
one of
you
those.
dropped the ball.
I did. I totally did. No, you're absolutely right. I Mother's Day hit, and I all of a sudden thought I need to put something on social media, and I don't have any time because I have a baby, and it's my wife's first Mother's Day, and it's my mom's Mother's Day, and I don't have time to do Photoshop this morning. So it just, stupid energy nullifiers.
Energy nullifiers, also known as Suck It, Fire at Will.
I am sure the European social team had a beautiful image that they had planned weeks in advance. So I hope you went to the European Twitter to see how good their stuff is.
I did not, but I'm sure it was really awesome.
Oh god, RTK142. Chase is literally the best. She is like...
She's just a sweet
It's one of those things
person.
where you meet her and you'd think, this can't be real. Like, this has got to be a thing she puts on. But I've seen her when the cameras are off, too, and she's just like that.
Yeah.
She's just a really nice person who genuinely wants to help people.
An absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, and I love the charity that she does.
Oh, Alt Lexington says the reason there wasn't a European post and because it's only Mother's Day in America. That's right. I forgot it's a different date. Mother's Day in Europe.
In Europe, they don't have mothers.
Jem'Hadar ships at Escape Group Gamma. Oops, that's the way I was headed. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I had all the I changed the lanes to be different colors, so
That's
that
nice.
way even if you're not looking at the letter, you're like, okay, gamma is green, I can remember that sort of thing.
Oh, I think we got it.
Yeah, just destroy the remaining ships and you're good to go. Yeah,
When the remaining ship is an energy nullifier.
it'll go away
Eventually.
eventually.
That might be a thing to look at.
Yeah, I might make it so if energy nullifiers are the only things that are left, then it won't.
Yeah.
But it still says you have some things here.
Mugam, we actually did ask Will Wheaton to voice, at least we asked him to voice Wesley in the game, and he was not interested in returning to Wesley, which I understand. There's some negative memories attached to that, I'm sure, from the way the internet and fans treated him when he was on the show. But he did show interest in working with us someday, and I think it's something we need to get around to doing at some point. I just don't know how, and I don't think we've really thought about it, but it would be cool.
I mean, us in content have ideas, but I mean, obviously it's way too early to even talk about those.
Ranger Ryu, I don't know. I can talk to the guys about adding a link to the Gamma Starter Pack on the homepage as well as the Gamma Vanguard Pack, but you can also just go to like if you go to our homepage, there's a store section, and it's one of the very first options. So you can just click on that and take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, well, guys, that was the Swarm and Deep Space Nine and some new Jem'Hadar ships and the Jem'Hadar character creation. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Play lots of Swarm.
Play lots of Swarm.
Give us
super
feedback.
fun. Yeah, give us tons of feedback, please. Let us know if there's anything you would do differently. And thank you guys very much for joining us for the stream.
Yeah,
I
thank
hope
you.
You have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll be back next week with more stuff we haven't announced yet.
But we'll announce it by then.
Next week, right, exactly. Because we don't talk about upcoming content.
Right.
Except when we talk about upcoming content. So until then, live long and prosper, Kapla, Jolan True, and bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.